Hello students, for chapter 10 I'm going to go through a couple of learning objectives with you. Your information that you get from the publisher covers most of the learning objectives. However, learning objective 2 and number 4 I do not believe are adequately covered throughout, so I'm going to go through a couple of problems related to those learning objectives. The first one up on the screen here for learning objective 2 for your textbook this semester, 4th edition, is going to be exercise 10-17A. For future classes with a different edition, it may be another related problem, which would be similar, but you can look through the question here, the problem here, and then I'm going to go through the solution. So pause your video here and read through all of the information that's given, as well as the 4 requirements. Pause your video here. Okay, now that you've had a chance to review the information and the requirements, we are first, of course, going to fill out the form here noting the variance and the variance percentage. This is just simply taking your budgeted amount and subtracting your actual. And of course, you can have a favorable or an unfavorable variance. Unfavorable variances, of course, are going to be where your actual has exceeded your budgeted amount, and then your percentage is your variance amount divided by your budgeted amount, and again will be favorable or unfavorable based on whether actual exceeds budgeted, being unfavorable, or actual is less than budgeted, which would be a favorable variance. So let's take a look at the solution for that. Oops, I've got go up one here. Okay, so here is our actual and budgeted numbers, and of course, as noted before, subtracting your actual from your budget gives you an unfavorable variance of 900, and then taking the 900 and dividing that by the base, being the budget amount, gives you the 7.2% unfavorable variance. So that will answer requirement number 1 by going through and doing that for each one of these items. Note depreciation was right on, actual was right on with the budget, so there is a 0 there. Question number 2 was asking you what type of responsibility center this was. Since only costs are given, there are no revenues, there's no profits, then that would be a cost center. Number 3 asks you which items should be reviewed based on the fact that they're going to review criteria, decision criteria, based on variance exceeding $2,900 or 13%. So based on that, we can see that the indirect labor is over the threshold that they have given of 13%, as well as is the repairs and maintenance. So those are items that management would want to review to see what caused those variances. Question 4 asks, should only unfavorable variances be investigated? No, they should investigate all variances that are greater than the amount of their threshold. In this case, one of these is an unfavorable variance and this one is a favorable. They should be investigating both of those because they want to determine why did their actuals come in so much less than their budgeted numbers. Was there an issue with the budget? Do they need to adjust the budget going forward? Or in fact was they just come in under their budget this one time? Maybe this is an anomaly or something like that. So they would always want to investigate any variances greater than their threshold. Okay, let's look at the next question for learning objective number 4. And that one is going to be, the one I want to go through is exercise 23A. And for this text, you can find that on page 617. But again, if this is a future chapter, a future class that has a different textbook, you can still use this problem to understand this learning objective. So pause your video now and read through 23A on your screen, learning objective 4. Okay, now that you have started this video back up and have read through all the requirements here, we can go and look at the solution. So the information given here, we're trying to determine our transfer price range. And just one moment while I scroll down to that particular solution. And it's a short solution here. So requirement 1 asking you, a long question there, but basically they're asking what is the lowest acceptable transfer price and the highest acceptable transfer price. So the lowest would just be their variable costs. The variable costs being given as direct material of $17 and conversion costs of $1 per tire. So total of $18. The highest transfer price acceptable transfer price would actually be the market price of the tire at $85. On number 2, this one is asking you if they're using a cost plus transfer price policy of full absorption costs plus 10%, what would the transfer price be? So if we're looking at full absorption costs, then we're taking these variable costs of $18, so that would be the 18, plus we're looking at the additional, I believe it was $2 of the, yes, $2 of the fixed manufacturing overhead per tire, so an additional $2. So we're going to take the 18 plus 2, and then we're going to multiply that by the additional absorption cost that they're adding on of 10%. So, and that's where we get the $22. Okay, so that's where they're getting their transfer price of $22 on that one here. And then the third question was asking you what would the transfer price be in the case of the most fair transfer price strategy to use if they're producing at capacity, and that would be the market price again at $85. Okay, that is all for this particular chapter, for chapter number 10. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.